Welcome back to the Crypto is Key conversation. It's been about a week since I've last updated, so we got some content that I want to throw up here in regards of kind of the updates within the community with the Ripple versus SC stuff from James K. Fallon from Digital Asset Investor, and then we have a bunch of different Cointelegraph articles that are going to tie into this overwhelming concept about crypto regulations and how things are moving forward. Coming over here to CoinGecko, we're currently sitting at a $1.19 trillion market cap, currently down 1.1% for the day. So if you've been paying attention to the markets over the past week, as you can see, we've had a nice little pump up in the market in general, especially in Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I think, hit like 25,000. Now we're currently sitting at 24,000. Ethereum sitting at 1,893, coming down here to XRP sitting at 37 cents. So there's been a lot of speculation when it comes to technical analysis. People within the community that's been talking about, maybe we may have a minor pullback, and then we may go back into some sort of 50% retracement from the all-time high, and then go back down to a new all-time low until we restart the next cycle. Who knows how things are going to play out? I guess they're basing it based off of the charts, as they say, look left on the chart to kind of zoom out. It's just going to be a waiting game to see how things roll out, especially with, crypto regulations. If we get all these big catalysts that come out, who knows what's going to happen with this market, especially when it comes to a spot Bitcoin ETF, regulatory clarity for the entire space, especially when it comes to the Ripple and XRP stuff in regards to their case against the SEC and so on. Coming over here, the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index currently sitting at 45. We were just at a neutral yesterday at 47, but now we're kind of back down into this 45 range. Going to have an update here in less than 4 hours. I could see us potentially going down a little bit further, but still staying in that fear range, which is a little bit of optimism and positivity. Coming over here, James K. Fallon gives us an update here. It says, in a text only order, Judge Network granted the Ripple defendants motion to serve 2 subpoenas to authenticate videos of 7 SEC officials' public remarks and ignored the SEC's claim that defendants were trying to reopen fact discovery. So responding to Ripple's trying to get the video footage that we've been putting out there in the community when it comes to this whole Ethereum Free Pass timeline, the whole ETHgate stuff of these representatives that's been talking about, market guidance in regards of, securities, I guess you could say regulations, if you will, when it came to the Bill Hinman Ethereum Free Pass speech that he gave on June of 2018. And a lot of the SEC officials were referring to that as well. And then obviously some other stuff that was put in those videos. But obviously the judge had pretty much disregarded the SEC's, crybaby and tactics and delay tactics and, gave Ripple what they've been asking for. So it's kind of a waiting game to see how litigation plays out. But things have been definitely heating up within the case, and I'm kind of excited to see how things progress there. I want to thank James K. Fallon for always updating us on the documentations within the litigation. Coming over here, I wanted to play this. This is from Digital Asset Investor, and this is Johnny Deaton on the PBD podcast. It says, another classic reminder of just how bad the SEC versus Ripple case is. So let's take a quick listen in.
And the other thing that the SEC won't give us is, did you know that 63 emails went out with that draft speech that gave Ether a free pass? Do you know who was the only commissioner to get a draft version of it?
Who's that?
Jay Clayton. Did you know Crypto Mom herself, Hester Peirce, never saw it? How do you draft this?
Why would Clayton even be involved in that draft? Why would he even?
He gave input. He's the only commissioner. Bill Hinman was deposed. Ripple was successful in getting him deposed. Of course, they redact everything to the public. And I have it here if you want to see it. The lawyers ask him, did you ever represent...
How much is redacted?
Ethereum, 90%.
Can I see? This goes to Pat. You were telling a story a couple weeks back about you were at Harvard and you said that there was a guy who was having trouble.
He said, just find a congressman, pay him $500,000.
That was it.
He's going through an election and he'll help you put up a law to hurt them.
This is it?
Yeah.
Now,
in action.
He's asked questions like, have you ever worked for Ethereum Foundation? Look at the answers.
Look at the redactions.
All right, and this isn't the whole. This isn't
this.
This isn't the whole lawsuit.
Dude, are you kidding me?
Right?
This is insane.
Now, why would they redact, Pat, if he's asked a question, have you ever had clients that are part of the Ethereum Foundation? If I represent you and your business, I can't talk about what we talk about.
So is this public record?
No, it was an exhibit that's public record.
Can we show this? Or no?
Oh, yes, you can show it.
So,
absolutely.
So I don't know if people can see this. But
and it's pages of that.
This is an entire page of every single word on the page redacted, and there's there's pages of it.
This is your transparent Securities Exchange Commission.
Holy moly.
And remember, we've been covering within the community, obviously our chairman Gary Gensler, and how he says, you need to come in and cooperate, come in and register, and transparency is the key, investor protection. But then again, when it comes to him and his, over 120 million fortune, he's not even registered. He's not transparent about anything. And the thing is, they're protecting, the whole ETHgate incumbents, if you will, and the incumbents like the banks and so on, in regards of them not being transparent. But we have to be transparent. And if we, the normal everyday investor, did anything remotely like, the Ethereum ICO disguised wells or anything else that's shady and unlawful, we'd be locked up within quick, fast, and in a hurry. But it doesn't apply to them. That's the crazy part about it. And we've been constantly surfacing stuff within the community of all the shady stuff and how they're literally contradicting everything that they claim. They're not out here to protect investors, and it's quite evident. There's another video here that I thought was quite interesting that Digital Asset Investor had put up. Actually, he got it, quote tweeted it from Bull Diap. It says, "Time for the real utilities from crypto." Quote, "We will be launching all stablecoin on multiple blockchains, including XLM, XRP, ETH, and others. Ripple and Stellar are adding smart contract capability to XRP and XLM, respectively." This is Peter Cook of Novati CEO. So let's take a listen in.
Stellar we've worked with in the past. They future demands or needs of the global payments community. Yeah, and broadening out your potential future.
So the reason why I'm throwing up this video here is a couple things. First of all, if you've been following this channel and following, the case and Congressman Tom Emmer, this whole "a new day is coming." That's like one of the big punchlines that's been coming out, and that's what we're seeing. It's like when everyone's starting to see Gary Gensler and the SEC's tactics and really where their intentions lie or their hearts align, and it's not with investor protection and it's not for the health and prosperity of the crypto space. So a new day is coming, and he says XRP and XLM, this digital asset investor. So with for instance, the whole smart contracts, getting ready to apply all this stuff, right? You have all these this utility that we talk about when it comes to the crypto space as we're talking about it now is literally driven from speculation. People speculating on different digital assets, their so-called potential use case or whatever cases. This market isn't driven by utility yet. So when it's time for the real utility to like the floodgates be open and things start flowing, we're going to see this market go way past $1 trillion market cap. And XRP, XLM, even ETH, when they get to the gas fees and all that stuff, right? However long that takes, these are going to be assets that are really going to be really paving the way and setting the future for the crypto space in general. Utility is going to win I guess you could say the decades, if you will. Moving on here, this is from Cointelegraph, says Ethereum ICO era address transfers 145,000 ETH weeks before the merge. The amount of ETH transferred just a month before the merge has generated community curiosity, with some claiming it will be dumped while others say it is for staking. So with Ethereum, merge into proof of stake, from proof of work, there's been a lot of speculation of, obviously we've had this massive increase in price in Ethereum. And there are people talking about, they're going to sell the, what do you say, buy the rumor, sell the news. So they're saying like once this merge happens that, there's going to be massive dump. There could be, some dump. I'm definitely expecting some downside, but who knows, what's going to happen until it does happen. But if I, obviously I hold Ethereum, I'm not really worried about it in the short term or anything. I'm just going to hold it for a while. So people that are kind of worried about it, whether they were looking to swing trade or whatever cases, I'd be highly concerned about, stuff like this, massive whales potentially dumping on us. And whenever this merge does happen, but it's kind of just a waiting game to see what happens. Coming over here. So we were talking about, in our past videos, we were talking about Tornado Cash being, banned for U.S. citizens, and a lot of people were talking about how it was just in a sense unlawful. Obviously, there's people that are out there doing bad things, if you will, whatever the case is, money laundering or whatever the case is, trying to hide their money. But there's a lot of more users, I guess reportedly. I forgot which company had done the data and reported it or whatever, but there was like a higher percentage of just normal people that utilized it for privacy in a sense. So there's been a lot of talks about how the regulations behind it is just in a sense it's wrong. So this article is from Cointelegraph, says torn price sinks 45% after U.S. Treasury sanctions Tornado Cash. So this was on August 10th. Coming over here, Johnny Deaton's responding to I think it's Naharaj K. Agrawal, says we believe OFAC has exceeded its statutory authority by sanctioning, Tornado Cash smart contract. Coin Center is exploring a court challenge. So in this right here, he highlights, we intend to work with our digital rights advocates to pursue administrative relief. We are also now exploring bringing a challenge to this action in court. So let me come out of here. All right. Johnny Deaton says, we must all applaud a court challenge. We have to stand up versus government intrusion and overreach. Make no mistake about it. Those in government are monitoring the industry reactions. For each inch of acquisition, the government will equal with a mile of further aggression. And it's quite evident when it comes to the XRP community and the Ripple versus SEC case. It's a perfect example of they're going to continue to try to, like how he says, we kind of throw out all this information that's out there, and they're going to try to, tenfold that with, more delays, further aggression, and so on. They're going to do everything in their power to get things to fit their narrative, whether it's for them personally, their incumbents, or whatever the case is. So I just wanted to put that up there. And also, this came out 7 hours ago. It says Tornado Cash Community Fund multi-signature wallet disbands amid sanctions. The peer elected signatories for Tornado Cash Community Fund have left the management of the wallet to the DAO. So obviously, with the sanctions and just I guess the negative narrative that's going behind it, people are just kind of jumping the ship. And speaking of transitions when it comes to regulations and so on, Kevin O'Leary says sacrificing Tornado Cash was worth it for institutional adoption. Mr. Wonderful thinks that crypto needs more regulation and less quote unquote crypto cowboys like Tornado Cash creator Alexei Pertsev, who suggested was a necessary sacrifice to create stability for institutional inflows. So that's going to go into kind of what I'm going to get into in regards of how things are starting to transition in this whole, there's a new day's coming and a new era. And, obviously you have bipartisan parties within the United States, working together to, create this standard, if you will, in infrastructure in regards of regulations in the crypto space. But this is from Cointelegraph as well. It says Canadian Regulatory Council creates a new pre-registration filing for crypto platforms. So then you have that. Coming over here, crypto needs enabling environment, Philippine Central Bank says. So obviously, people trying to find, some regulatory clarity and some sort of guideline or some book that, these entrepreneurs and these blockchain technology companies can abide by, to allow the space to be innovative and flourish and be prosperous and, heading into the future. Coming over here, this says the train has left the station. So this is kind of what we're leading into right here.
Would spend a lot of time watching how legislation moves through Congress. What legislation needs to move through, it's like a train that leaves its part of its starting point and then moves along, and it goes from village to village and town to town to its ultimate destination. And people get on and people get off, but eventually it arrives. What's important about the Lummis-Gillibrand bill, which you just mentioned, a train has now left the station. And that train is comprehensive. It's got many cars on it, deliberately so. Some of those cars will be taken off along the way. Some will be added. Some passengers will get on. Some passengers will get off. But the important thing is now the train has left the station. It's bipartisan. It's comprehensive. And it's very, very thoughtful.
And then I wanted to play this. This is from Attack Titan that put this up.
I think that even the regulators are waiting to see our legislation move forward. And if they see the legislation that Senator Gillibrand and I are sponsoring get a good reception, get legs in the U.S. Senate, they can actually begin regulating to the standards expressed in the legislation before the legislation passes.
So whatever happens within, regulations, especially when it comes to the United States, it's at the end of the day, there's nothing we personally, it's just a waiting game, right? And we hope, that when we do reach out to, our respective congressmen and women and in support of, the entire industry in representing us, making sure that things are right and just for the space and the innovation within the space, all we can do is kind of just wait and see kind of how things play out. And regardless of whenever it happens, whenever regulations and that clarity is out there, we can definitely expect just a tsunami wave of inflow of capital from these so-called trillions of dollars that's sitting on the sideline that are going to come in, when they get the so-called thumbs up, okay, this space is safe, the water's warm, you can jump in. So that's going to be exciting times. We're currently sitting just over, pretty much just over a $1.1 trillion market cap. So this is going to be very, very small whenever regulation does hit, clarity is hit. We have our spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States. We have, some guidelines, a rule book to follow. It's going to be absolutely massive and exciting. The train has left the station. There's a new day coming. That's the update I have for you. Until tomorrow, gonna keep bringing you great content. Make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at CryptoIsKey1. Really excited to continue to grow this community. Thank you for all the support. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.